Are you ready to turn your dreams into a reality? Then you need to join the next round of the Dream Bigger Mastermind. Get on the waitlist today to secure early access and an exclusive bonus when enrollment opens. It's time to manifest your best life yet. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to Breathe More. I have a very special guest with us today. For those of you who are not watching the YouTube, we're both wearing amazing hats because Krista Valente is a Meliner. She's also a Dream Bigger Mastermind alumni. She's been a client for the last 4 years consecutively, from private client to Dream Bigger Mastermind a couple of times, retreats. She's in the collective. She has done it all so that she can create her dream life. And I can't wait for all of you to hear her inspiring story. Welcome, Krista.
Hello. What's going on? Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure and energizing speaking with you.
Of course. When I was making a list of who I wanted to have conversations with and share their story, you came to mind, especially because, as I mentioned in the intro, like we've been working together for years now. And it's been amazing to see you, like every year, just up level, right? You truly have been committed to yourself. But when we started 4 years ago, Krista was a very different woman. Do you remember what it was like for who you were 4 years ago?
I'm having flashbacks to my old apartment. We met actually at a meditation workshop and in person. So pre-COVID at a meditation shop in Venice, California. And I remember just feeling your energy that day. I had the best experience. I've done my Veda meditations. I've done my sound baths, but there was something with this breath work that just, I left my body. It was incredible. So I was like, I need to have more experiences with Anna. So we did the community gathering, which was incredible. During COVID, you created a beautiful, safe space, but routine for everyone. Every Saturday we hopped on and we built that beautiful community. That was, I think, not only mine, but so many people's saving grace through that. But I'm actually seeing myself back then sitting on my bed, just like crying every Saturday, processing emotions. I'm like, what's happening? And being like, this is real. This is good. It's coming up. You don't realize how much you suppress day to day, year to year, from when you're younger, adolescence, becoming an adult, figuring it out. And yeah, what a difference. I can
Absolutely.
see it.
Yeah. And with that, I don't remember if you first, after community gathering, if you did Dream Bigger Mastermind or if we did Reset, my one on one. But at the very beginning, as you just shared, like it was you bringing stuff up to the surface, processing them, like truly healing them, completing the cycle. Like people don't realize so much of our life is created from our unconscious mind, and we're just on autopilot. And for a lot of people, that's fine. But for those of you, and I know it's you listening to this podcast because you are about improving yourself, growing, manifesting, like feeling better. And we can do all of that. But first, my approach is we got to get to the root cause, the reason why there's so much anxiety. Why do you keep attracting the same type of bosses? Like, what's going on in your dating life? Like, what? Like, all the questions first. And it takes courage to do that. A lot of people don't want to look at themselves. They don't want to feel. We live in a society where we're actually told to numb ourselves, to distract, to disassociate. And so one of the reasons why I love breathwork till this day and using it in all of my programs is because it gets you back into your body. It helps you feel. It helps you connect with those emotions that are there that your body has been telling you like, hey, this is going on, and we keep ignoring. And so once we do that, then we create a new foundation for our new life. And you did that. Like you started deep. Do you remember the flow of it? Was it one-on-one first or mastermind? I think it was Reset, right?
It was Dream Bigger.
Okay.
We did the Dream Bigger, and then I did the Reset.
Okay.
because there was a lot of transition going on with work. I
Yeah.
seem to have, like you mentioned, the same type of bosses, the same work environment, the same energy I just kept putting in, but not knowingly and receiving. So yeah, I went reset and then we went into mastermind.
Yeah. So Krista's an example. Like she has been in the corporate world. She's also super creative. And so I want to touch or explore a little bit more about the job situation because I think a lot of people can relate where there's this false idea that once you just find a new job, all your problems are going to solve themselves. Like you're not going to be in that toxic work environment anymore. You're no longer going to be working insane hours. But what I have found in my clients is that they tend to manifest just the same type of job. Like there's some things that are better. It's like if you're working with me and you want a new job, we're getting you more money. Like that's for sure. We are getting you like hopefully better circumstances, like more to what you're looking for today. But we also have to look at to see is there any programming or any past traumas that might be carrying into the new job. And so we came across this pattern for you, Krista, in the second mastermind that you joined, right? Because you have manifested a couple new jobs. And once again, you were like at the beginning, it was good, right? Like it felt so much better. And it's like, oh my gosh, I have so much more freedom, or I get to be creative, or this and that. And then things went back to a very familiar place. And so that's when we started to do some more digging work. It's like, all right, what do these relationships or these type of people, who do they remind you of? And is your inner child present at your job? Like, are you overworking, over delivering because you're looking for that external validation, because you want to feel loved, because you want to feel like you matter? And I felt that was a really big breakthrough for you, Krista. And that's where so much changed.
Absolutely. Realizing that as much as I was myself, but I was trying to just get that, like, I got this. I'm big on that executive table too. Look what I can do. I could do it too. And just constantly showing up and building that anxiety without even realizing I'm building this anxiety. And there were no boundaries. Who cared about me? Not me, not the company I was working with. They're good for the next best thing and what was going. Absolutely, this past mastermind, I was able to not only just understand what do I want? This isn't it. You would get it's so common. I know a lot of people do this. You just, okay, this job opportunity. Okay, let's just take it. You're on LinkedIn, you want to leave a job or you're looking for a job. You just, what did we joke? We just
Yeah, you just submit
massive
like an
apply.
autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, stop doing that. Be intentional.
Yeah. You're like, I just need to get out of here. Just apply, apply, apply. This looks cool. It's fine. It's whatever. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Anything is better than this. But in reality, it's what's this? What is this? What's better than this is we're talking about? And we actually were able to have those hard conversations to myself and say, okay, I want to be respected. I want to be heard. I want to be understood. I want to have that safe space where I feel like I can speak to my boss in a very open manner, where I'm heard and things can change. That wasn't the scenario. Boundaries of hours, when you clock off, when you don't. And it's hard time right now with remote work and not knowing when you can really leave that desk because you're still there. You don't get that disconnect where I'm in the car. That's it. Good day. See you later. And this past mastermind, I was able to find my truth and lay down those laws for myself and to feel more grounded, be more intentional of what I'm doing day to day. But the best part is part of the manifesting with that, making that agreement with myself that this is it. I'm moving forward and this is what I want to do. That same day, I recently just put in my 2-week notice at my previous company. I had an opportunity come that next day because he made space for what wasn't serving myself anymore. And I was ready to bring in what was. And now I'm with that company since, and it's the most amazing situation. It was the
That's
best
so
thing.
good.
Hmm.
Yeah, Krista ended, well, she joined last fall. So she ended her cohort back in March. And it was a really fun group because we also had someone in her cohort who's an HR manager. And so you had a lot of support from, first of all, just letting you know, hey, what's currently happening at your company is illegal, first of all,
Let's start
number
there.
one. And then also, yeah, like, because it can be really scary if you've been showing up in your office at your company in a certain way, then all of a sudden you're doing healing work, you're starting to feel empowered, you feel deserving, and then you show up differently, start to say no, start to advocate, start to shine light of the abuses, mistreatments. Like, there's probably going to be pushback, right? It's rare that the company will be like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry, even though they should. But I haven't seen too much of that with my clients who work at companies. But with that, I feel like the tension becomes even stronger. And so a lot of times people do need that like nudge, that push to make you to make that change. And so for Krista was that, it's like, I can't work in this environment anymore. Like, I'm at my wits. And that's why without a safety net, she just quit. And we celebrated that. We're like, yes, you're so courageous. Like, she found support outside of that to help her in the transition. And then, as she just shared, like, she manifested a job that values her, that respects her, that's remote, that has allowed you time as well to work on a bigger dream, which is your Valente hats. And I'm wearing an amazing creation called Dream Bigger. How appropriate. I turned my head so y'all on camera can, on the YouTube can see the hat. But I want to also talk about this, the Valente hats, because this came as an idea years ago, right? It was just a seed that you planted, and it has taken a couple of years for you to, I feel, be really consistent with it. Not just consistent, but be confident with it. So tell us what the process was. Where did this idea come from? And how do you remember the journey of creating your hat line?
You said the keyword confident. It's been consistent, but the confidence, 100%. So when I left my last intoxicating workplace, I said, I need to do something creative. I've always had a creative background, and I need to just have something that I'm passionate about and just explore and have fun. And I've always loved hats. Who doesn't love a hat? It's a fun little addition to your outfit. It's a vibe. It's an energy that you want to be able to put out there. And so I said, how do you even make these? How is this done? Is this cardboard in here? Like, what's the process? And I started looking it up. And I happened to have, I was very lucky. I had a trip planned with some friends to go to Europe. And I said, you know what? Let me find if there's a class. Let me see how I can do this, if I could do this. And I found a workshop in Paris with a Parisian milliner, and I got to do a one-on-one class with her for a couple days. So I got myself to Paris. I don't know French. I got myself to the hotel. I found the hotel was 2 blocks from the workshop. So I got to go up in her studio that was just overlooking. And right there, I'm like, okay, this is where I need to be. Like, everything that's happened, here I am. This is incredible. And so I started there. And so I got to learn a little bit about the process, came back, I'm like, okay, now what? Okay. And I went full on, almost too far. I need to make this a business. How am I going to do this? How am I going to make money? Okay, if I do this, I'm going to have to make X amount of hats to get this done. And it completely took the passion and the fun and the creative release, what was the whole inspiration and the start of it, away. So that kind of crushed me a little bit because I got overwhelmed right off the bat and I lost track of it. So hence the little slow in the consistent aspect. And then I started playing again. I have an extremely supportive partner who is also in the creative world, and he would always just challenge me, hey, what are you doing that hat over there? You want to make a new band for that? And I'm like, oh, this? And so I got to get some juices flowing a little bit more with that. And then I started playing again on Instagram and doing the scroll of looking at different hat companies, getting inspired, seeing how there's so many different lanes that people can be in. And that used to overwhelm me and scare me, where I would do what everyone does to themselves, right? We judge on that Instagram. We see
And
what
compare.
everyone does. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, they're so great. How am I going to do this? I would allow that little tiny fear voice become louder and louder and set me back a little bit more and a little bit more. Someone would ask, oh, so are you still making hats? Oh, yeah, sometimes. Instead of just, Yes, I do. This has been so fun. Let me show you what I just recently did. Let me show you what I just created. Oh my God, I just did this reel. Like I didn't have that confidence yet. Fast forward to our summer solstice event. Anna hosted an incredible summer solstice in Malibu in June. And I came. You did an awesome journal prompt words. All right, let's check in this past 6 months. How has your year been so far? How are things going? Is there anything that you wanted to work on that you're not? Is there anything that no longer serves you want to release? So I was able to just drop in. I'm like, okay, let's just talk about the real thing, the hats. I haven't done as much, nearly as much as I have been wanting to do. And then the next prompt was, what can you do? And what do you want to do? Right after that, we dropped into breathwork. And I had all of the most beautiful inspiration and words and thoughts and inspiring little comments just come to me of just saying, what you doing? Yeah. So I have a very sassy hype girl inner voice. And she's always just like, Krista, let's go. What are you doing? You got this. Just play. Do your thing. Do you, baby boo. Like she is my hype girl. And so I did. That next day, my whole energy, my whole confidence, my whole mindset completely swapped and changed for the good. And I just started having so much more fun. I got myself a new tripod. I set that puppy up. I'm just scrolling on reels. I'm like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to have fun. Let's just do it. And as soon as I made that decision with myself that this is fun and this is for you, and just to keep enjoying and knowing I have such a safe space and a community that's back behind me with mastermind and even in the collective, they're like, we're so proud of you. Look how far you've come. We've had in-person events where I'm like, oh my God, you're real life now. And they congratulate on the success. It's just a constant container of love and support that's like, all right, you know what? We've got this. Let's do it. Like, let's go. So then I've just kind of been having fun, switching it just to fun, and it's been a blast.
I'm so proud of you, Krista. I mean, it truly has been a journey. But first of all, can we just celebrate how you started? Like you had an idea, you didn't know how to make hats, and here you are making hats and selling them. Okay. So, for those of you who have an idea, who have a project, who want to explore your creativity, but then the fearful mind is telling you, what's the point? I'm too old for that. Like, I don't even know how to do it. Like, how do I even get started? Remember Krista's story. She just started with a passion for hats. And then on a trip, decided to find a hat making workshop. And then from there, it's just evolved. And since then, she has manifested dream clients for sure, who are also nudging her to sell at certain like high-end boutiques, to increase her pricing as well, to really reflect how these hats are made by hand every step of the way. Like she measures your head. She asks, what colors do you like? What's the vibe? Like with my hat, she just tapped into, well, she knows me really well. So she created this like beautiful, unique masterpiece that now is just mine. And that happened really quickly, like in 2 years, right? I would say from workshop until now, which you might be thinking like 2 years, that's a long time. But again, she didn't know anything about hat making. And now she has this side business where she's sharing her art with the world. And I just love it. Your social media is so fun. You can see that energy just like radiating out of you. The confidence is also something that is radiating out of you and really just owning your gift, your talent, and this being a business. So, congratulations, Krista. It's so amazing.
Thank
Love
you.
it. It's so good. What are your bigger plans for Valente hats?
So I am actually been working with some brides, which has been super fun. I had a gal trust me with the gift of making a hat for her best friend, the bride to be. And she sent me some photos. We had an inspiration board, and I was like, all right, let's just play. And she gifted it to her. She fell in love with it. And now her girlfriends have now asked for additional bride hats for
Amazing.
other girls' friends that are getting married. So I'm playing in that sector right now,
Yeah.
whether if it's for their bachelorette party or actually walking down the aisle or like bridal showers. I've had a few that asked me for that, which has been really fun. But honestly, to just continue to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm playing with more or with different materials. I first started with wool. That's what I was taught when I was in Paris. And so I'm like, okay, this is my lane. Let me stay with it. Coming to realize as I've been doing my research, wool is really hard to work with. So all of the times I've been really upset with myself that I wasn't getting it right, or it's taking so long, or the brim's not staying flat. It's okay. And so I learned different materials now working with fur felt. So I'm exploring fur a lot more, which also helps me to do like the burning on the inside of your hat and being able to do different fun embellishments. So we're gonna play with that coming into the new or into the fall season because who doesn't love a hat for fall?
So good.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I love it. I'm also thinking like, here's like my business coach hat coming on. I'm like, all right, I love that you have this niche of brides. That is such a huge industry and people are willing to spend money. And so if that's naturally coming to you, yeah, lean in even more. And so that's why I was asking about the websites, like having maybe a page for that, the more you do, or getting in touch with wedding planners, or maybe like dress shops.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of fun avenues we could
So
play
much.
with this. Exactly. It's gonna be fun.
And then with that as well, I just want to like shine light of some more limiting beliefs that people might have when starting a new project. It's like, okay, I'm too old. I don't know how to do this. Who am I? There's so many other people doing that. Do people even want that now? Like, is this too niche?
Check,
Like,
check,
what am I doing? Right.
check.
And so,
check.
again, remember to use Krista's story as an example that there is a place for you no matter how many people are already doing it. Like, no one is going to be able to do it the way that you do it. And that is the magic. That is the gift that you're sharing with people. And when we are following our truth, our path, like we become magnetic and our people find us and people are curious. And not just that, but we also inspire our own community to dream bigger. And I feel like for you, Krista, that's something that you have to do with your girlfriends and your group. And since then, you have also manifested a partner. And this as well, like I want to say like similar to the job where we had to identify like, okay, why do we keep attracting this type of situation? We had to look at the relationships and dating and be like, okay, am I repeating a pattern here? Am I feeling the same way over and over again? And then a lot of times as well, when we had that newness come through because you have healed so much, because you're showing up intentionally, because you're not the same person, then I have seen it and I've had to like stop. I'm not saying that this happened to you, but I'm thinking of someone else who manifested a new type of relationship, new type of partner. And then they're like, no, but this isn't it. I'm like, what are you talking about? So point being is like, then we self-sabotage, right?
Yep.
We're like, that's not what I asked for. I'm like, this is exactly what you asked for. It's just like with a different wrapper, like, but at the core is what you want. So with that as well, it requires some time to like know how to navigate this new you and new interactions that you're having with people, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, romantic, friendships, your family, like there's some adjustment that happens and some integration. And then you feeling again confident and trusting in self in this new version of you. Does that resonate for you, Krista?
Oh, 100%. Oh my God, without a doubt. I mean, I kind of heal my way through relationships is something that I was saying to myself the other day on a walk where there's a lot of grief, obviously, when it comes to losing or growing out of friendships or out of a way of life that you're so used to living. And of course, the first thing you think of, like, oh, that's so sad. Like, I did something wrong. But it's okay because you're growing into who you should be. You're in your little cocoon. Now you're a butterfly flying. And that has personally happened with me. I know I've gone through two really close friendships that we just grew apart over time. And we were friends for 10 years. And we were friends during our 20s. And then when you're in your mid 30s, things are a little bit different.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But oh, absolutely. The growing, the healing through
Healing
process.
through to manifest the new.
Yeah.
Krista, before we wrap up, so for people considering joining Dream Bigger Mastermind, or if they're like, how is this really going to help me? Like, what would you suggest or what do you have to say about like why do you keep joining Dream Bigger Mastermind?
When I first went into our first mastermind, I didn't have a set goal. I didn't know what I was going in for. I don't want people to think like, I want to go in mastermind because I want to focus on this new business or I want to do this. The most impactful, beautiful thing about going into Dream Bigger and Mastermind is the collective that is in the community that's built. Specifically for the hats, I went in and I was held accountable by an unbiased group of love every week where I can express all of my feels no matter what the feels are that day. I could be celebrating an accomplishment that happened that week. I could be crying my eyes out because something came up. Every and anything is welcomed and it's okay. And all of that is just part of your growth. And it is nothing more beautiful than having that community to be able to do that with and having that support where everyone is your cheerleader and they're rooting you
Yeah.
on and they're there and they're going to tell it to you real. They're going to say, I'm so sorry you feel that way, but here is why. Do you see how it's happening to you again? What can we do to move past that? It's all coming back to like the root cause. And it's probably one of the most impactful things that I've experienced in life and truly have gotten me where I am today. It wouldn't be
Hmm.
me. I wouldn't definitely not have this confidence and the strength and boundaries. We all have our families that we work through, our childhood traumas. I know people hate hear it. Sometimes they don't love hearing the word childhood trauma or no, my childhood was great. I was loved so much. That's okay. Yeah. You still might have some things that happen that are affecting those relationships and your boundaries and who you are today. And it's, like I said, the most safe container to be able to go through that with a group of women and with men to be your strong self and the best version of you.
So good. That is definitely one of the things that I most love about my Dream Bigger Mastermind is how diverse the community is, like people who decide to join in. And to Krista's point, like they may not have one specific goal, but it's more just a commitment to themselves. It's like a recognition of, I want things to be better. Things might already be good, but there's something within me that desires more. And there's a lot of inner circles that don't want you to have more. There's a lot of family members who feel threatened by you wanting more because unconsciously that means what? You're going to abandon us? You think you're better than us? And I know for me personally, like that's why I created this container because I want you to feel safe to show up and share your dreams. I want you to be vulnerable. I want you to share how it's hard. I want you to be a place where you're like, I feel like I can't keep going. And then again, reconnect with that inner strength, reconnect with your why, with your vision so that you can continue to go forward and share it with the world. And so I'm always grateful for those of you who decide to join. Krista, you're amazing. You know, I love you so much. And I'm just so honored that for the last 4 years, I've been able to be your healer, mentor, coach. I see big things for Valente hats. All of you, go give her a follow. Her creations are just so beautiful. Reach out for a custom hat, treat yourself for birthday, just whatever. Like they don't need to be saved for a special occasion, but they definitely are so beautiful and they're made with so much love. And congratulations, Krista.
Thank you. I love you. I
Love
appreciate
you
you.
too. Amazing. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next time with more inspiring stories, tips for you to manifest. And in the meantime, make sure, this week, actually, on Thursday, September 5th, I'm hosting my free workshop called Step Into Your Dreams. So we're going to be starting to move some energy, show you some of the mindset and manifestation rituals that I like to use with my clients. And then also, it's going to be the official opening of doors for the enrollment of the fall Dream Bigger Mastermind. So join for free. You will get a replay. So click on the show notes to sign up. All right, friends. Talk to you real soon. Bye.